Uh, Timothy George was a special human being, an excellent physician and surgeon who was committed to ASAP. In fact, he hosted the ASAP conference in 2010. For those who didn't know him, he was professor of neurosurgery at the University of Texas in Austin and chief of pediatric neurosurgery at Dell's Children's Hospital. He was renowned for being an excellent technical surgeon who cared deeply about his patients, and a great family man who married his best friend, Rosalind, and had two wonderful boys, Kevin and TJ, and now two grandchildren. Tim grew up in Brooklyn in less than ideal circumstances. From an early moment, he showed the qualities that served him in life, then and later: perseverance, empathy, kindness. Working with children with disabilities as a camp counselor opened his heart to being useful in society. He figured out that despite his modest beginnings, he had the means to contribute greatly. He worked as an apprentice plumber for his father, which probably helped him become the great surgeon he was. His curiosity and need to constantly look for ways to make things better is what stimulated his interest in research and his involvement in ASAP. He realized he had a lot to offer and worked very hard at it. As a result, he was the first student in his high school to attend an Ivy League school, and things went uphill from there, achieving greatly as a surgeon, researcher, teacher, philanthropist, journal editor, athlete, and others. The most interesting of his accomplishments, however, may have been that he was a pro race car driver, achieving podium finishes at national races. Sadly, it's during one of those races that he lost his life, presumably from a medical condition, but he died doing what he loved to do. You can read about Tim's achievements and the various memorials written about him. I'll just briefly tell you about his involvement with ASAP. We started out at ASAP together, along with Marcy Spear, another ASAP legend, who sadly lost her life to cancer a few years ago. Tim brought to ASAP his love for research in neural tube defects and the Chiari malformations. I remember when Tim, Marcy, and I sat down many years ago to plan out the ASAP-funded multi-center trial of Chiari surgery, the first of its kind, which we completed and published only this past year. He brought to ASAP his enthusiasm to teach what he knows and ask questions about what he doesn't know. As a result, I have not attended an ASAP lecture of Tim's that didn't run overtime, and not just by a few minutes. He was so excited about the topic that he would forget about time and would take the audience with him on a great trip, sometimes related to a research topic, another to an important clinical concept, and very often interjecting philosophical advice about life. One example about how he thought outside the box is when he was frustrated that rats, mice, and other animal models used to study neural tube defects were not very applicable to humans. So he went out and initiated his own sheep colony of neural tube defects that he commissioned to a farm to raise for him, adult sheep which he planned to use for research that would benefit the spina bifida population. This is the kind of ingenuity he showed over and over again. When you look around you, you find great people and you find accomplished people. If ever there was a person who was both, it was Tim. From his demeanor, you knew he was the kind of cool, great swagger, great basketball moves kind of guy. And then he gets talking. And then you discover that he has it together. He knew a lot, and he had a lot to teach. Most importantly, however, Tim was a person who exhibited genuine kindness, and this percolated through his family life as well as his professional life. Patients, colleagues, and friends. When you meet him, you immediately realize that he cares. His wife, Rosalind, mentioned a journal entry that she found after his death. It was one of those journals with a question on every page. One of the questions was, what brings a smile to your face? And Tim's answer, getting a hug from my patients is something that always and immediately brings a smile to my face. He just cared. Tim will be missed greatly by so many, and our hearts go to his family. I am very thankful that ASAP is taking steps to memorialize him, and in his honor, the topic of my lecture today will be one of Tim's favorite subjects and one that he liked to teach at these events, the congenital tether cord. Thank you.